but I understand, you know, what it feels like to be held down for 3 rounds, and and it just don't feel like this guy, this guy is avoiding the fight now. You know what I mean? He's avoiding the fight, and he wins the fight. So the guy who doesn't fight gets to win. So on account of this rules and scoring criteria that we've developed, and we used to have a whole other organization called Pride with different rules, and I think it worked out way more, for exciting fights, and you get to see a lot more technical aspect come out in the fight. You get to see, a guy, you get yellow carded if he holds the guy, so it forces him, to punch the guy. He can't just elbow the guy because he has to create some space to punch, So he can't just hold the guy and cheat with little bumping the guy with little elbows. He has to create an amount of space, away from this guy to punch down on him. That space that he needs to make before he gets yellow carded is the same space I might be trying to make so that I can get my ass back up and fight this guy when he's not trying to fight me. So he should be carded for stalling. And we've got this whole system going on here, and everybody's, bought up the other organization and thrown it away, try to hide it. And it's just wrong, I feel like the Japanese, they kind of knew how the martial arts went and how it should be. And the more technical, martial artist or wrestler or boxer, and the best man's going to win, by these old rules, is the way I feel. I feel like, it favors the more technical boxer and martial artist, and all this UFC and the cage fighting nowadays, it's always been geared towards the wrestler. It's always been geared towards the wrestler. I knew that, and then as soon as I started fighting the UFC, I knew I needed to really, pick it up and start playing that game, and learn how to fight like that. Because I'm winning, I can go out there and do damage and win on damage and lose a fight, but I got to win on this criteria, So, I won fights on the past and damage in my own mind, in my eyes, in their eyes, but in the judges' eyes, the other guy won. But when I went home, and they went home, they know who really won the fight. You know what I mean? So, but they knew how to win the fight. And they were aiming to go in there and win on those on that scoring criteria. I just I wasn't up on game, and I should have been, and I just didn't have anybody to tell me, hey, listen, you will lose the fight if you go on bottom in the first round, and they start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not. You don't realize that stuff when you're 18 years old.